Hey, what's going on, everybody? You're tuned into the Everything Millennials podcast. This is, of course, the podcast where millennials talk about whatever they want. I'm your host, Anthony Element, and today is actually our Christmas episode. So I'm joined by Mary Mick Martin. How's it going, Mick?
Hello. Ho, ho, ho.
And also today, we have actually a special guest from Benish Films. He's actually been on our podcast before. We've got Adam Benish. How's it going, Adam?
Hey, everybody. Hey, guys. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. Awesome. So, yeah, the more the merrier on the Christmas episode.
It's fine that you're here.
It's awesome, man. One day we're going to have like 32 people on this podcast. Well, anyway, so let's talk a bit about Adam. So actually a lot has actually happened for Adam since he's last been on the podcast. He actually won Best Male Director at the Niagara Falls International Film Festival for Generations Under Sail. So congratulations on that.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. It must be awesome to start like being recognized for your craft and getting awards.
Yeah, it
Good
definitely.
job.
Thanks, man. It definitely has it has a cool feeling when you get any recognition and when you start to make any sort of headway with anything that you're passionate about. So
Yeah, for sure.
they all mean a lot to me.
Yeah, it's like when you start this podcast and you get your first follower, you're like, yeah.
Yeah, man. Just about,
Do we have
pushing
one of those?
through.
We don't have a follower yet.
Well,
right?
we have a few. We got a good audience that follows us every week.
I don't
So
believe
shout
you.
out to them. Also, another thing that's probably an awesome feeling. You had actually a few premieres in the last few weeks for two of your films. So you had, I think, Generations. Was Generations your very first premiere? Adam?
W-
So you
so
had
the-
Generations, I believe, premiered at the Hamilton Film Festival, right?
at the Art Gallery of Hamilton Film Festival, which I didn't
okay,
get
yeah.
to go see.
Yeah.
But then it played at Ekron, the Toronto Polish Film Festival, which both of you guys were able
Yep.
to come to, and we got
Yep.
to sit in a packed house, which was super cool because of the film that it was connected to. So we got like a full audience, and that was the first time that I got to experience that movie, and not just for myself on a big screen with that big sound, but also like feeling people's reactions. And then 2 weeks prior to that, Holdout played at the Hamilton Film Festival. And again, Anthony, you were there, and we
Yep.
got to sit side by side and watch that. And it definitely something different seeing your work on a screen and feeling
Yeah.
people, wince and murmur and laugh and just they
Yeah.
feel it. And it was super cool to get that experience for myself.
I thought that was super sick too, because like I've seen a lot of your short films and stuff that you've made, but to see it on the big screen, it's like, oh, I know this guy, and to me it was so awesome just to see your work on the big screen. So I could just imagine how you felt seeing it on the big screen because you put so much blood, sweat, and tears into it, right?
A lot of hustle goes into making those, and I did 2 films in the same year.
That's awesome.
Of 2 different complete like genres. The getting the best male directing award does mean a lot because Generations, for what I can do with a film crew, I did that with like a sound person, a camera guy, and the 2 actors and myself. So that was very much I felt that warranted what I had to do by taking a boat out into Lake Ontario. And then there's the support that you get from your friends and colleagues, and like both of you got a special thanks in my film.
Yeah.
Because in different aspects I've come to you guys both for years, pitching ideas, talking fundamentals, asking your advice on stuff, and the fruits of your labor are in that film for me, and I wanted everyone to be a part of getting those accolades. So like both of you in your own different ways with what you've helped me with, like, man, thank you both so much.
Yeah, man, you're welcome anytime. And that was just really cool. It
welcome.
also super unexpected too. I remember we were sitting there and the credits rolling. The credits looked super legit and awesome, and then I saw my name, and then Mick's name came up, and I was like, yo man, we're on the screen. It was just cool, like for that 1 second everyone saw my name on the screen.
Yeah.
Word.
Did you get the same kind of feeling there, Mick?
Yeah, for sure. But Adam's also been in a YouTube video with 1 million views. He's been in a couple, actually.
Oh yeah, what video is that?
Right, but
He plays a gay man online.
but the difference
And he
the,
does
the
it
difference
extremely well, and he gets a lot of views. It's real good.
but the difference between that is like that's not my content, right? As much as
Yeah,
I'm
you're
in
not
it,
creating it, but
it's not
it is
mine.
you, though,
Sure.
personally, as a human.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a human that's playing a character, but like whereas like this is
Yeah,
like a
you're an
lot of like
actor.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's like all your work, right? So it's like like because all of us actually we've been in like different movies and TV shows just as background and stuff, and it's like oh that's cool to see you in there. But then when it's you running the whole production and it's kind of like your baby, you know, that's a kind of a different next level
Oh,
feeling.
baby, you're constant crying, whining, expensive little baby.
That's honestly one of the best descriptions for making a movie.
Yeah, but
You
it,
could,
like
you could not be more right.
Wow, more
'Cause-
money.
Yeah, and
but like a
then
real baby, they are lots of
Like
work,
a real baby, State Farm is
and very expensive. But at the end of the day, that's worth it. You know, worth it to you at least. You know.
oh totally. Yeah.
All right.
Word.
Cool. All right, so let's get into some Christmas things. So today we're going to talk about kind of the worst and best Christmas movies, just kind of some things that are Christmas related. And so let's start with this thing here. So actually, there's actually shortages in stuff is kind of everywhere: electronics, lumber, everything. And now, so affecting the holiday season, the Canadians are now facing a Christmas tree shortage. Not just Canadians; it's also Americans. Have you guys got your Christmas tree yet?
So wait a minute. I think that this is like Christmas trees have finally got their Christmas wish from Santa.
Stop
Like,
cutting us
like,
down.
Please, just let us live through the season. Santa's like, ho ho, fine. 1 year, you pine needled bastards can have a growth season. And next year though, you watch yourselves because you're getting chopped.
Yeah.
No, I have not personally purchased a Christmas tree this year.
Or have you guys experienced any of that yet? Or
My
know of
dad
anyone?
was very kind, and he would buy a big, large Christmas tree growing up. But I didn't. I was allergic to it, but I didn't care, and I would just sneeze throughout the entire holiday season. It
Are
was
you seeing
quite
any of
gross
that, Adam? The
My Christmas
short?
tree is fake.
Oh yes. Also, so
Yeah.
people who have the fake ones, they're kind of good because they already have it. They just kind of pull it out. But it's a real Christmas tree shortage, but also the manufacturing of fake Christmas trees are also being affected. So it's like on either side, if you're trying to get one this year, it seems like it's a bit harder.
Christmas trees.
Ours here is fake as well. So we haven't experienced any of that. So I'm just wondering if anyone has.
Why is
experienced-
there the shortage? Is it just because there's shortages of everything? Aren't there shortages?
Yes, yeah.
of
So it's
timber,
a lot
lumber?
of factors, right? So one thing
climate
is
change.
climate change is one of them. Farmers, a lot of tree farmers are retiring, and they're selling their farms, so there's less Christmas tree farms. Of course, in the States, the wildfires in Washington and Oregon is really the big thing there because they're actually the largest national growers for the U.S. So that's where the U.S. gets a lot of the trees. So there's just a lot of factors this year, and it's crazy because this is like the last year or two have been like the year of like the shortage. So now it's affecting Christmas.
Yeah, Santa's watching that permafrost recede like a hairline. Just like, ho ho, oh my goodness. I have a lawn now.
Yeah, that's just trying if you're trying to get like a new Christmas tree. But if anyone's trying to get a good new Christmas tree, good luck. Good luck out there. There's
Yeah,
probably people
yeah.
scalping
Don't-
Christmas trees now.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Leave the trees alone. Leave them alone. Leave them in the ground. Get a fake one.
You're totally right. Get a fake one. Also, I don't know why. Like, have you guys been to not even like a Christmas tree farm, but like Metro? $60 for a 3.5-foot tree.
So oh damn, that seems
Really?
expensive, right? So
It's-
yeah,
Yeah,
they're
I
jacking it up.
guess.
Everything's being jacked up, man. You see gas is super expensive now. Everything is expensive. You can't buy like an Xbox for less than like $2,000 because everyone's scalping them.
Xbox, really?
Yeah, you can get
The
them,
Xbox
but
S or whatever?
yeah, X
buddy
Series
got
S. Yeah, I got one too, but I just kind of followed them on Twitter, like
Yeah.
and sniped one as soon as they posted the link. I just bought it.
Did your Tesla just automatically 3D print one? Tesla, 3D print me an Xbox. Yes, master.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I guess moving on. So something that's really kind of on all our shows, but I try to get away from the last couple of episodes. But it's Christmas related, so we're going to talk about Hawkeye. I get
Hawkeye!
Hawkeye, the TV show, the newest Marvel TV show. So it started a couple of weeks ago, and it actually ends the week of Christmas. So they're kind of timing it to end at Christmas. So I know you've both seen it. What do you guys think?
Hi.
Do we love it as much as I do?
Probably not.
No, I love it, man. Because everyone always jokes that Hawkeye is kind of like the crappiest superhero because he doesn't have superpowers. But I'm just really digging the show. Like, I don't know, it's the Christmasness of it. Haley Steinfeld is awesome as Kate Bishop.
You had a bit of a Scottish accent for a second there because he didn't have the best of powers.
Didn't have
So
the best
people
of
said he
powers.
was the crappiest
I'm never doing that.
Avenger.
No, it's very diehard too because it's Christmas and like the action of it all.
I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. It's all right.
It's great. Like, I don't know, and I'm into so.
Is that who your parents raised you to like, Jeremy Renner?
No. Adam, what do you think on it?
What do I think of Hawkeye or Jeremy
Hawkeye.
Renner?
Or both, whatever.
What I think of Hawkeye.
So let's do this. What do you think of Jeremy Renner? What do you think of Haley Steinfeld? And then what do you think about Hawkeye, the TV show?
I like Seinfeld.
I think Jeremy Renner's a bit of a prick. I've heard he was up in Toronto doing Mayor of Kingstown, and I heard enough about him.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of rumors are bullshit.
Yeah, they are, Mike. They are. A lot of them are bullshit, but also in the circles of people that I know, I also get some really good info on what they actually are and how they are.
Yeah, but you don't want to diss him up too bad because maybe he just had a few bad days. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. You just gotta. Yeah, I'm sure Jeremy Renner is a bad person. I'm sure he is. But,
terrible. Like he probably kills, he probably drowns puppies.
Yeah, or maybe he just had a few bad days. I don't know.
Maybe.
Is it worse than working with like a bad CEO? He's not polluting lakes. Jeremy Renner pollutes no lakes. I was just kidding about him at first, but now I'm defending him because he doesn't pollute the lakes.
My big thing with Hawkeye is I feel like I'm watching a movie that they are just stopping. I don't feel like I'm getting like arcing episodes. Yeah. I feel like they get to a point where they're like, all right, well, we're gonna go do this, and then they're like, roll the credits, and then when we come back to the next episode, it's like, because I watched it when it was like 3 had already been out.
Yeah.
And I was like,
they do that to make you keep watching too, right? Like they'll leave you on the cliffhanger at every episode. The last episode, like he pulls out the knife on him, and then it's like right there. You're like, oh, I want to see him fight him. Come on. You're like, son of a.
Yeah. The character that they introduced, Maya, and the whole concept that Hawkeye is going
Echo.
deaf.
Yeah, so that character.
The deaf gimmick is good. I like that. I think that it's a good little thing to add to him. I mean, why not? He's been through these booming explosions all over the goddamn place. At least he's got some injury. Yeah. He's otherwise unscathed.
But that's also from the comics too. He was deaf in the comics, and it's great
always?
that they're at least in the run with Kate Bishop, because it's based off of I forget the writer, but it's based off that run, so it visually looks very much the same, and he was deaf in that. But I like how they're bringing that in, and it makes so much sense for him. I love when he's like, "You can't hear?" She's like, "You can't hear," and then he just like flashes back, and you see all these different explosions. And he's like, "Oh."
If and you says so, I believe you, but I don't recall it.
One thing that's interesting story point wise is they, every movie, action movie, superhero movie has like a big third act where everybody, fights and shit blows up.
That's the punching and lasers episode. That's where they spend.
If it's good.
Going back to the first Avengers now, the Battle of New York was not like, I was like, okay, it's a big battle, whatever. We've fought in New York hundreds of times in different genres of films. What's interesting is now it's a nexus point, and they've gone back to
so many times.
New York 2012 is now like it's canon. It's the fulcrum of the universe where shit started happening. They had to go back there for Loki, which kicks off Loki. They introduced Kate Bishop technically in New York 2012. So it's interesting that they've now created another chapter of Marvel that New York 2012, along with like the what happened in Ultron, that brought forth the law, right? What was
Sokovia thing?
Yes, the Sokovia Accord.
Accords. Yeah, I love when Marvel does that. Some people hate it, but I love when they, because they're so interconnected and everything. It's multi-layered. Like, so I got kind of a cool kind of fact, or kind of something I noticed when watching Hawkeye. So do you remember when they were seeing that play Rogers, and then Hawkeye leans over to his daughter and he goes, "Ant-Man wasn't there, but Ant-Man was actually there." Because remember in Endgame, they traveled back in time. Tony, Steve, and Ant-Man, they all traveled back in time to 2012. So Ant-Man was there. So what if someone saw him, like the person who wrote the play saw Ant-Man, remembered him, and then when they made the play, wrote him into the play?
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I just thought that was crazy, and I'm like, oh, that's good.
I think you definitely are onto something for the fact that they make reference to that.
Yeah. I just thought it was funny that he was in there. At first, it was a throwaway joke because he's like, "Oh, he wasn't there," but he was.
So I bet the guy who wrote the play is probably
someone who saw them standing in the
it's
alleyway.
It's probably Kang the Conqueror.
Kang the Conqueror? Oh.
No,
it's Mephisto. It's Mephisto.
Mephisto, yeah.
So it's Mephisto.
Mephisto wrote the play. Or Loki. Loki writes plays. Loki's a playwright.
Loki's a good guy now. He's too busy.
He's a good guy.
Doing the multiverse.
I prefer him as a bad guy myself. I hope his arc takes him back to the side of the bad. I like seeing him get clotheslined by big dudes. I think that's funny.
Yeah.
So, that's what I'd like to see out of Loki.
I think.
Is there like a winter god in Norse mythology? Is it Odin? I guess. Or is it like a wintry frosty? Oh, I guess it's the frost giants.
Yeah. The king of the frost giants, whoever that is. Oh,
I think he's dead.
Laufey?
Loki killed him.
Laufey?
Laufey, yeah, Loki killed him. Loki killed his father, and he kind of killed Odin. Killed two dads. He killed both his dads.
But except for in that one universe where he became a chill guy.
Yeah,
that episode that you liked of What If
Loki, where he's just
that's what I took from that episode.
Super cool frost giant. That's my favorite What If episode, hands down. That Thor with, where it's Party Thor. I love Party Thor, man. I wish that was Thor.
All right, so now let's. If no one else got anything to say on Hawkeye, we're going to move on to the more Christmassy part of this. Where we're going to talk about the best and worst Christmas movies. So I kind of asked you guys to tell me your favorite Christmas movie. Like I said, one. It was funny because I said one. Both of you and even myself came up with a list of like 10, and the worst one. So actually, let's talk about the worst one first because we all collectively came up with the exact same answer. So in that answer for the worst Christmas movie is any Hallmark movie. And so you know what's hilarious about this? They're so bad, but who eats them up? Is it women?
Is it?
Is it
I
women?
Don't know,
Adam, you're in the industry. I bet you could tell me why they keep making these things. Like collectively, as like in general, people think these are bad. Like,
people
but who's
like
eating
them?
Do people like them?
There's an audience of people.
Yeah,
Every
of course there
genre
is.
has fans, right? It's like there's gore genres where it's like you'll watch that and I'll be like, who watches this? It has fans.
Yeah.
Every subgroup has fans.
You know what it is? It's got to be
the has thickety fans.
It's got to be the male demographic that generally thinks it's terrible, and then probably the female. We should have had a female on for this one. But Adam, do you have any insight on why these do so well? Because I think you've worked on some of these, right?
I think yes, I've worked on enough of them. I've worked on so many of them. I hate making these movies because they're so vanilla. They're vanilla to make. When we're making them, some of the notes that we get back from people is like, we need less conflict. They don't want anything to like. They want such a streamlined story that has very little rocketiness, because the thing is
really wow.
Not just doesn't matter what the like it is primarily women. That's I think a pretty general statement and assumption, but it's also the time of year that people want to watch these, and they want to watch them at Christmas, and at Christmas time they want something that just goes down easy. And so when they say like less conflict, the lead, who most of the time is a female, kind of can never be in the wrong, is another big thing we get back. it always needs to be, you know, people around her are rubbing her like it's their issues or their issue with her or with whatever it is they're trying to accomplish in the story. But she is always perfect,
I
and she
find that
always needs to have this perfect trajectory.
it's interesting that you said they have less conflict. Isn't
Okay,
conflict
well, hold on. In terms of the fan base, though, my brother-in-law watches these, and he's a very manly dude. Like
And he enjoys
lifted
them?
weights until his back was destroyed. Like he lifted weights into back surgery, and he loves football and was a football coach and stuff. And yeah, he watches these Hallmark movies, man. I've seen it. He might not admit it, but he watches them, and you know what I mean. And like so does my mom. Like there's like people in my own life that I know that watch these movies, so. I can't be like they don't have any fans because they do. It's just not me. It's just like I don't watch The Masked Singer or whatever.
It's not our thing, but
my mom does.
This is just based on our own preferences and lists. But it's funny that all three of us all said we don't like any of the Hallmark movies.
Yeah, I mean, just for me personally, yes. I don't.
We're not putting you down if you like them.
It's very difficult for me to sit through them without, you know.
Well, I mean, we're also talking about, from what I thought, we're talking about a list of films that are, you know, Christmas films, and only certain films get to get that kind of like endless title. Like Home Alone is like one of the best Christmas films. Not to jump ahead, but the thing is just because you're a film about Christmas doesn't make you, you know, one of the most like one of these iconic Christmas films. So I think all these Hallmark movies. Even if we're talking about the worst Christmas films, like they just don't get to be on the list, period. Like they're so bottom of the barrel.
Well, also because the comment you said before, they have less conflict. But isn't conflict part of good storytelling? You kind of need somewhere to go. Isn't that true, Adam? Like you can't
very true.
You can't just have stuff happen and then it ends, right? That doesn't feel to me satisfying.
It depends on your audience.
I guess.
Yeah, like I mean, like we could walk through any of these movies and like they've been parodied now to make, you know, poke fun and make fun of them, but like it's, you know, girl is usually in a large city, has to go back to small town, comes across, you know, one or two characters that she remembers, one of which is usually a man. There's some sort of thing, whether it's a, you know, saving the community center or there's a lumberjack competition or there's something where she has to kind of like reclaim her identity, and then she usually leaves whatever she had left originally, like the big city. She comes to the decision of, do I go back to the big city or do I stay here? And then usually they kiss at the end, and that leads to them getting married, because we all know you don't kiss or have sex until after you're married. That's what these movies tell us.
What?
and trust me, we spend so much time. It's called overcranking, which is you put things at a higher frame rate to make them go slow-mo. And we spend so much time making sure that Hallmark kiss, trust me, the studios are like,
what is that?
when you do the kiss, they'll have a list of things that they need. Like they're like, we don't really care what happens in the story, but when you do the kiss, you know, the grandpa needs to be in the background. That mailman that she met in the first scene needs to be in the background. Like they're like, we have so many things, because they just.
If there is no mailman, there is no movie. You will find the mailman and put him in the scene.
What is the frame rate that they're shooting at when they do the kiss? Just curiosity.
Like 120.
Nice, and then it goes down to 60. That's kind of hilarious. So then I guess these are really easy and cheap to make, because if I switch back to here, these are all the movies, Hallmark movies coming out, Christmas movies coming out this year. So I counted these. There's 22 new Hallmark Christmas movies coming out this year alone.
People eat them up, man. People eat them up. People love these things.
Well, but
People
that's just
them.
also, that's just Hallmark, right? There's also Lifetime. There's also the Women's Network. There's also the Hallmark.
Don't diss these things up too bad, man. You may need to work on them, brother.
No, I know. I
it's
will.
like, oh, we saw that podcast. You're not on this. Get out of here.
But the thing is,
we heard you trashing our stuff, brother.
Hallmark made the formula of what needs to be done, and these guys are just copying that formula.
Yeah.
Sorry, one sec.
We heard you trashing our stuff.
Dude. Okay, so they're just copying this formula. So in a list of 22 Hallmark films, you know, you're looking at a budget of $650 to $1 million per movie. So
Yeah.
we're talking, 22 million, let's say, and usually crank those out in 12 to 15 days, which for a feature, that's quick.
Yeah, that's fast.
And that's like the local stuff in like the Toronto and Hamilton industry. Then there's the higher end Hallmark movies will go up to North Bay and stuff. So they'll go up to like North Bay, Sault Ste. Marie, because they get a tax credit. So their $1 million has now turned into like 1.7 or 2.
Yeah.
So then that's the ones up there, you get like a
Wow, really
bit
cheap,
bigger
eh?
of a name. Yep.
Yeah. All right, so I think we've spotlighted Hallmark movies enough. So before we move on to our kind of picks for our favorite ones that we think are iconic, I got a question for both of you. If you could pick, I know there's a list of a lot of them that would be on this list, but if you could pick one off the top of your head, what is like the worst Christmas movie that kind of pops into your guys' heads?
If I had to pick a worst one, okay.
Like
I would
one that's
pick-
kind of like everyone knows, but like you think it's kind of bad.
I would say Frosty the Snowman, I think is overrated and bad. Frosty the Snow. It's got the song, okay? The cartoon,
Frosty
that
oh,
cartoon.
the one
Frosty
that's
the
like
Snowman.
claymation?
No, I don't think it's claymation. No, it's like a cartoon, man. It's like a regular old animated cartoon. You never watched Frosty the Snowman when you were a kid?
There's been so many, I don't know. What does that say on your glasses?
Well, there's
there?
a very famous one. It says, ah.
It should have said ho 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 ho. You gotta keep in the theme, man. Christmas.
Humbug. So I think that one's kind of overrated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Adam, what do you got?
Do sequels count, or are we talking about originals?
Well, anything, anyone. I kind of have one on top of my head, but I think we might be thinking of the same thing. Go ahead.
I'm gonna have to say like oh fuck, there's so many bad ones.
Yeah.
Like
There's a Hallmark one called Christmas Land, which has a particularly left me with a bad taste because they always meet a man in these Christmas movies, right? And I like it better when the guy they meet is like a career that's like, I don't know, like a little bit not your stand. Oh, he's a doctor and he lives in this town, and then we got married and I met him on the thing. Like I like it when the guy's like, something else, like plumber, anything, literally anything, but not like doctor, lawyer, policeman, fireman, whatever, all that stuff. And Christmas Land is one with the lawyer. She's like, he meets this lawyer and has a perfect arc, and it's a good lawyer and it's a good relationship and all that shit. So yeah, fuck that one. I seen that one on TV.
Bad Santa 2.
Bad Santa 2?
Oh,
Okay, yeah. Did that one didn't have Billy Bob Thornton in it, did it?
It did.
It did, and it was bad. Wow.
You and I actually went to see it, and then I asked you to leave.
I don't even, I don't even remember.
So we left because you fell asleep, and so did I.
So for me,
you walked out of Bad Grandpa too. You pulled me out of that one.
Yeah,
I don't like bad in front of the name.
Yeah. So
what about yours, Anthony?
So mine, so just off the top of my head, I know there's a lot of them, but if I'm gonna single one out, it'd be Jingle All the Way 2. And I think just because I love Jingle All the Way with Arnold, that this one kind of stood out to being not good,
There's a Jingle All the Way 2.
Exactly, right? This is something someone told me a while ago, and
but
I was
it's
like,
not
I said
with Arnold.
I said it's got if someone can find it, it's he's like a southern comedian. I forgot what's his name, and I think Adam's gonna look it up. The name
I am because I'm furious. Oh God, is it? Ugh.
What's his name?
Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Larry the Cable Guy. Right?
No, when was this pile of crap made? Oh.
Yeah, I said the same. I was like, oh, when was this? Because someone told me, and I was like, no way. It's like if there was a second one with Arnold, I would be all over it, and it'd be amazing.
So, can this segue into?
Yeah. So
my favorite Christmas movie is Jingle All the Way.
Yeah, because
it's a great movie.
Yeah, so
makes me sad.
Yeah, so we're talking. Yeah, so we're gonna move over to now. We'll talk about some good stuff. Although, like some people,
I prefer to talk about the things we like.
I just want to make it clear I'm not shitting on Hallmark movies. I know they're people's guilty pleasures and whatever.
Yes, you
but
did. You shot all over them. Don't even.
I'm just saying.
me
I was saying personally,
No,
But if you like them,
people, if you like Hallmark movies, Anthony personally dislikes you. Come on. Just say it, Anthony.
He
Be
didn't. I
real.
did.
Anthony will jersey you and punch you in the
So
nose.
I actually just watched Jingle All the Way last night again because
Yeah.
why wouldn't you watch it a couple times a year?
Yeah, it's a great one. I watch it
Christmas
every
movie
year.
Ever. New thing I
Turbo
learned
Man.
is Chris Columbus was a producer on it, and Chris
Who's
Columbus,
The guy who found the
directed Home
America.
Alone.
The one who sailed across the ocean? Wow.
Yeah.
That guy had a long career.
Shout out to Christopher Columbus. Sorry, Adam, what were you saying about Christopher Columbus? We went on a tangent because we caught the name.
Have you ever heard of the goddess Columbia? All right, okay. Go on, Adam. What did Christopher Columbus, that murderer, do? What did he do?
So Chris Columbus directed Home Alone.
Oh, sick! Nice. I never knew who.
If you look at his IMDb, he's got like a lot of solid producing credits behind him, and it would make sense that a movie like Jingle All the Way he had a hand in because, like, I mean, that movie is just
Because it was awesome.
Well, yeah, and also it was like a couple years after Home Alone, so the formula to make a solid Christmas movie. Why not get the guy who just made, arguably the greatest Christmas movie?
That's a Donna Blixen.
So yeah,
Comet Cupid,
Jingle
Comet
All the
Vixen.
Way
I could do
is
this
on
all
my
day.
list. But I think the thing that's the most common, because I asked you guys and you guys sent me a list. The thing that's common to all three of our lists is Home Alone. So this is between the three of us. It's got to be the best Christmas movie because we all said it, right?
Yep.
We all said Home Alone, and then we all said the Hallmark ones were the worst ones. But Home Alone 1 and even Home Alone 2, those are two very solid Christmas movies.
A solid sequel, which is always hard to pull off too, right?
Yeah.
Like it's hard to knock a sequel out of the park and have it either rival or, surpass the original.
Yeah.
And yeah,
but also,
unfortunately, there's.
Sorry, go. Unfortunately.
Oh, Home Alone 2 is solid except for that Donald Trump cameo, right?
Oh yeah, I remember that when he was in the hotel, right? And I love that scene where he has like the thing. He's like, "Credit card, you got it," and he's playing it back on the talk boy. And then Donald Trump is just in the hallway. Yeah, that was so random because I didn't notice that until years later, like maybe even in the last like 5 years or something like that, where he was in there. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Home Alone and Jingle All the Way. That's probably the top ones for us. But if we're talking so we all had other things on our list besides Home Alone and Jingle All the Way. What other top would be on your top in the list there? One that's not on all of our lists.
Gremlins.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. That's a solid Christmas movie. Like not centered around Christmas, but it's in Christmas.
It's a weird one in that sense because it's a bit of a combo horror Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But it definitely, and like when one of the most morbid monologues is when she explains how her father dressed up like Santa to go down the chimney, broke his neck, and then they didn't know he was in there until they had to they could smell his decaying body, and they had to get someone to go in. They thought it was a raccoon or something, and then they busted the chimney open and found out it was her dad.
Yeah, holy.
Like,
God.
Like if that doesn't describe what kind of Christmas movie Gremlins is, like it's a great it's a
good one
point to make. Yeah,
well, we all grew up when that came out, so that's probably solid. What about you, Mick?
I really enjoyed Grinch. Like the original cartoon, the cartoon Grinch.
Yeah.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Yeah, that's a good one
too.
You
really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus. You're as what does he say? Like
slimy as a snail.
Slimy as a seal.
Grinch.
Slimy as an eel.
I feel like we're all gonna start busting out in show tunes, all three of us together.
I think Dylan, you actually bring up a really good point too. It's a lot of these movies, they have to have the iconic song to go with it if they stand a chance in being that iconic Christmas movie.
Yeah.
And
so Home Alone. Bum, 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 bum. No, that's Star Wars. What's that one? No, there's the one like that's the Home Alone one.
Because like Dylan, a lot of the ones that you brought up are getting to the point where they're older than 60 50, 60 years old, right? And they're still relevant, or they've now, created variations of themselves. Because like you're right, like that cartoon Grinch is so iconic. And then they got the Jim Carrey version, which you can't really say one is better than the other, because you have an animation versus a live action. You have because what is the Grinch movie, the cartoon, maybe like 40, 50 minutes versus an hour and a half.
Grinch, I say the Grinch cartoon is better. I'll say it all day.
I think people will just say like it's the one you grew up with is usually the one that you think is the best, right? It's like a bit of a bias. Whether it is better or not, that's kind of what you'll think. Like kids who grew up with the Jim Carrey Grinch will probably think that one's better, right?
Yeah, maybe. Okay, next, what's the next thing?
Let's see. So yeah, what else? I had something else, but I forgot what I was gonna say. oh, it's my turn. Yeah. So picking off the list. So you had Grinch. Adam had Gremlins, and for me, the other Christmas movie that we didn't talk about that would be on. There he is. That would be on my list. Would be Scrooged with Bill Murray.
That's on my list too.
Yeah, it was on your list too. But like we all kind of collectively agreed that Home Alone and like Jingle All the Way, because that was on all of our lists. That was on your list too as well, Adam. But wasn't really on mix there, and we kind of lost him a bit.
Mike, have you seen Scrooged?
Wait, we lost his video. Is he still there? Oh no, he's there. What happened to his video?
Here.
Your video disappeared.
He's blowing his nose.
Now you can see how the sausage is made.
I sneezed and I needed to roll my little nose.
That's staying in there. That's if you're watching it live, you see it, but I'm gonna probably leave that in there in the final cut.
Dylan, have you seen Scrooged with Bill Murray?
Never.
What?
Really?
Are you serious?
I ain't never seen it.
No way. But that's
never seen it.
Is Scrooge original, like, or is that from a different story? There's a different story, right, that predates Scrooge with the exact same story of the 3 ghosts visiting you, right? Or is it from Scrooged?
Oh, dude. Charles Dickens.
Oh, Dickens. There you go. See?
Christmas Carol.
I know someone's going to yell at me later.
I'll yell at you now. I have it around here.
People always yell at me for getting stuff wrong and whatever.
Good.
Hey, man, I'm human.
You deserve it. Oh, man. Be better.
Always trying.
But that's also a great point you bring up, Anthony, is that, like, because Dylan, how old is that book?
Oh, man. Old as fuck.
Right. and Anthony knew
years old.
Really nothing of it. Although
I knew Scrooged.
Another version, Anthony, you would like, because I know you guys love your Muppets, is watch the Muppets Christmas Carol.
Oh, I've seen that one. Yeah, that one's good.
Yeah, it's the same story, right?
Yeah. That's why I was asking if it was something else, because it's been in Muppets, been in Scrooged.
Yeah.
See, and that goes to my point where I said it's what you grew up with. Like, I didn't see the older one, right? Like Dickens, is it just a book?
Yeah, it was a book.
Yeah. See, I grew up with Scrooge.
I can't find it.
In
It's somewhere in my
80s and 90s.
Shelf, but anyway,
not to say the old one isn't good.
No, yeah, it's became like the archetypal story. Like it's pretty standard, right? Like and people have parodied it all over the place. I love the Muppet parody of that. Yeah, and the Mickey Mouse one too. The Disney Scrooge one is really great. Yeah. What are you doing here, ghost?
That one,
old Scrooge McDuck. Yeah.
That one was hard to watch as a kid. Like,
I loved it. And Biggie's in it. Oh man.
What?
That one's awesome. Yeah, Biggie's in it.
Like Biggie
you should watch
Smalls?
It. Biggie Smalls is in it. Yeah. He smokes with
Mickey Mouse?
Yeah, man. You should watch it. You have to watch it. I can't believe
I'm gonna look this up because this is.
I haven't seen Scrooged, and you haven't seen Biggie.
Okay. Yeah. I thought you would have seen Scrooge because you're a Bill Murray fan too.
Yeah, I do. I am a fan of his, but I do like me my Murray. Yeah, it's funny. I haven't seen it. I've seen almost everything else he's been in, I think. But...
Well, Dylan, I'm coming over this week and we're watching it.
Okay. I was gonna watch it tonight.
Oh, well then.
But that's fine. I don't have to watch it tonight. Oh wait. All
right. So, you want to go one more, or we want to cut her? I'm asking this collectively.
My back hurts like hell, so if we're gonna go one more, let's do it quickly.
Okay, we can do. Let's say. Okay, so I got a few different stories.
You look like the sun right now, Adam. You look like you're just emitting heat.
Buddy.
I like his shirt, by the way. Very
That's
nice.
a pretty awesome shirt. It's a pretty awesome shirt, I gotta say.
I'm actually wearing that exact same shirt right now too, underneath the shirt. EWM for life. All right, you guys want to make okay? So we could talk about let's see. We can talk about COVID and Christmas. We can talk about Omicron. We want to take it on a downer. I have a kind of story about that. Let's see. We could also talk about Christmas movies that are arguably not Christmas movies.
Okay, Die Hard is on my list. Die Hard.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. Let's not bring it down with Omicron and COVID.
The point of that Christmas movie is that sometimes Christmas sucks. You got to be a fucking badass about it.
Yeah, Die Hard is
sometimes Christmas sucks.
That's the one that's like on everyone's list. That's like arguably not a Christmas movie, but people will argue that it is. But it's set during Christmas, and it's awesome. Even though it's not centered around Christmas, it has Christmas elements in it. So I say it is a Christmas movie, and it's.
Well, I mean, it's a Christmas party on like Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
What about Mr. Hanky the Christmas Poo? What about all the South Park Christmas specials? Like
Christmas special.
We got a red sleigh down. We got a red sleigh down.
Like you could say Iron Man 3 is a Christmas movie technically, but that has very little Christmas in it. I don't know.
I say no.
So here's the thing with, and I mentioned this in the list I gave you, is Shane Black.
Yeah.
The writer, director, filmmaker in general. So Dylan, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. He was the guy you didn't know in the Predator movie, the original with Schwarzenegger, the guy with glasses that got. Yeah.
I love that
Shane
guy.
Black. So he then went on to write and direct. He did like Lethal Weapon. He did Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. He did Iron Man 3, and he loves incorporating Christmas elements. Now. Something like Iron Man 3, I would say no, not a Christmas movie, even though there's a tree in there. Whereas, like, if you compare it to,
what about the end with the fireworks and the Christmas lights and? I know that's very little Christmas, but I've heard of Shane Black that he likes to throw Christmas in all his movies at least a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, would you say Kiss Kiss Bang Bang? I wouldn't say that's a Christmas movie. I'd say
it's on the lower scale, like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Iron Man 3, because there's. But it does set place in Christmas. It's just not Christmas-ish. Like, what is your definition? What's your definition of a Christmas movie?
Well, I think everyone has their own opinions of what is a Christmas movie, but then I think it comes down to whether or not you just think based on what you think goes into a Christmas movie. It's always personal opinion. It down. Yeah. So, like, Dylan, would you say? Here's a fresh one. Batman Returns. Christmas movie or not?
Christmas movie. That's Christmas movie for sure. That to me it breaks the threshold. Christmas movie because there's enough snow in that movie to be. And Penguin.
Nah. It's a winter movie. It's a winter movie. Like the movie The Gray.
Subcategories.
The movie The Gray. Have you ever seen the movie The Gray?
Oh yeah. That's a wicked movie.
That's a winter
Christmas movie,
man. Winter survival movie. This is not a Christmas.
Snapping wolves' necks. That's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
There's lots of red.
There's a difference between winter movies and Christmas movies.
Yeah, you got a point.
Batman Returns, if it is one, it's, I don't know, very loose, man.
Well, you know what they say, a mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it, but even deadlier if you mean it.
No, that's true. I mean, that's the
point. It's also a quote from the movie.
I know. I remember that, Catwoman and whatever.
All right, so I guess that is going to wrap up kind of the Christmas stuff that we got for this year's Christmas episode. I just want to take this time now to kind of let Adam plug. So what do you got kind of going on? I know you've got some stuff that you've got going on soon that you kind of want to mention on the show.
So Holdout just won its first award. It won at the Canadian Shorts for Award of Excellence, and we're super happy with that. So I wanted to thank the cast and the crew that helped me make that. And then also we're heading to Shockfest, which is going to be virtual this year. Shockfest is like a 15-year-old festival that's had a lot of notable people, including Eli Roth, at it in the past, and they're going to be doing completely virtual this year. So December 10th in your home, your computer, you can check out Holdouts on the Shockfest Film Festival.
Awesome. Big things, man. You're just moving up there, and I'm seeing it right from the beginning. So I'm excited for you, and congratulations for everything that you've accomplished so far.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, both of you.
Yeah. All right. So I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in this week. Special thanks to Adam for joining us. If you're looking for anything from the show, I've got show notes and time codes on the below to jump around wherever you're watching us. You can find links to everything: audio, video, podcasts, show notes, merch. Get some for Christmas gifts at everythingmillennials.com. Follow, subscribe, like us. It really helps us out. I'm Anthony Element, the Essential Element on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Where we gonna find you, Adam?
I'm Adam Benish, Benish Films, Instagram, benishfilms.com. Come check out my websites. And pretty much Benish Films everywhere on the internet.
And Mick?
Leave me alone.
You won't find him anywhere. All right, everybody, thanks for joining. Peace.